Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you an updated version of my Harpie deck profile. So I really love Harpies, so when I found out that Harpie's Feather Duster came off the ban list, I was absolutely thrilled. Harpie's Feather Duster is a really powerful card. It's not quite as powerful these days as it was when it got banned, but it is still a very strong card. And it's searchable in this deck, and that's really cool because, I mean, this is the deck it was made for. So just being able to search it and destroy your opponent's back row is a lot of fun. I do want to say again, I apologize for the slower uploads. I was hoping to kind of get back on track this week. It didn't really happen like I wanted to, but I do want to say you guys have been really supportive. I've been getting a lot of messages from people just saying, hey, don't worry about it, it's all good, take your time, and I just want to say I do appreciate the support because it has been a lot from a lot of different people, and it honestly really blew me away, so I appreciate that. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this one. So to start off with, we are going to be playing triple Harpie Channeler. Harpie Channeler is, in my opinion, the best one of the entire deck. She's really cool. What she does is you can discard one Harpie card and special summon a Harpie card from your deck and face up defense position except another copy of this card. If you're playing against this deck, this is the one to hit with an effect veiler or something like that, because this can really start off your combos and just start swarming the board, and a lot of times it really starts off with Harpie Channeler. You can only use this effective Harpie Channeler once per turn. While you control a dragon type monster, this card's level becomes 7, and this card's name becomes Harpie Lady while it's on the field or in the graveyard. So the fact that it becomes a level 7 when there's a dragon on the field is actually really helpful, because we can get some dragons on the field, and then we can kind of go into some rank 7 exceed plays if we wanted to do that as well. And next up, running triple Harpie Perfumer. This one is really cool. What it does is when she hits the field, well, number one, this card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field in the graveyard. You'll see a trend, they basically all do that as well. But if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters in its text. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster while you activate this effect, you can also add a second such card with a different name from the first one. So that's really cool, because literally if you have a dragon or something, and then Harpie's Channeler is level 7, then all of a sudden you can search 2 straight from the summon. So that is really, really cool, and that's not hard to do at all. Next up, running triple Harpie Harpist. This one's really cool because what this one does is this card's name becomes Harpie Lady on the field in the graveyard. You only use each effective Harpist once per turn. When this card is normal summon, you can target a wind beast type monster you control other than this card, and when face up monster your opponent controls, and you can return them to the hand. But the really cool effect is the secondary effect, which during the end phase of this card is in the graveyard. Because it was sent there this turn, you can add one level 4 wind beast type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. And that is a really cool searching ability, because a lot of times you just want to put this in the graveyard and then get that search during the end phase. I'm running triple Harpie Lady 1. If you'd rather bump this down and play a third Ash, because I believe I only play 2 in this build, you could do that. But Harpie Lady 1 is cool. You can just special summon to the field, and its name is always treated as Harpie Lady, and then all wind monsters gain 300 attack, which is cool. I'm running double Oracle. Oracle is awesome. I think a lot of people played it 1, but I really like it. Of course, its name is Harpie Lady while on the field in the graveyard. You only use each effective once per turn. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is really cool. But then it has a secondary effect where this card is normal or special summon. You can add a spell or trap card from your graveyard back to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters in its text during the end phase of this turn, which is just really phenomenal. Just being able to grab that back to your hand is really helpful, because you do like burn through your spells and your traps in this deck. I'm also running double Harpie Dancer. You can target one wind monster you control, return it to the hand, then you can normal summon a wind monster. You can only use this effective Harpie Dancer once per turn, and this card's name is, guess what, Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. I'm running just one Harpie Queen. I used to run more of this, but I didn't use it quite as much. You can discard this card to the graveyard and then add a Harpie's Hunting Ground from your deck to your hand. This card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field in the graveyard. I'm also running one Harpie's Pet Dragon. This card gains 300 attack and defense for each Harpie Lady on the field. It's pretty cut and dry with this one. So I'm actually added in triple Wind, the Wind Channeler. This card is really awesome with this deck, and it really helps out with the consistency. It's always treated as a Charmer card. That doesn't really matter at all in this deck. But you can discard this card and one other wind monster and add a wind monster 15 or less defense from your deck to your hand. I set another copy of this card, which is really helpful because it just really helps, like I said, with the consistency. Because a lot of times if you don't get the Harpie one you need, and let's say you drew double like Harpist or something, but you needed a Channeler, you could just absolutely discard this and the Harpist, and then grab a Channeler and then go off from there. So it really helps out the consistency. I'm also running a Tempest Dragon Ruler Storms because it's a dragon and it can make our Channeler go up to level 7 as well. And then this also is really easy to get out in the field because you literally discard, you can banish a total of 2 wind monsters from your hand or graveyard, and special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. So it is really easy to get out into the field, and like I said, it just kind of helps out, and it's also a wind. And then also I'm running a barrier statue of the storm winds just because you kind of want to lock your opponent. A lot of times when you get done doing things, just lock them into winds, and a lot of times if they're not able to get past that, that's pretty much game. It's kind of like a little tech. You don't have to play that in this one, but there's been a few times where I've played this and like my opponent wasn't able to get past it. And then I'm also running double Ash, and like I said, if you want to run a third Ash, you could get rid of a Harpie Lady 1, or if you're to get rid of an Oracle as well, you could do that. So that is it for the monsters, guys. Let's move into the spells. So to start off with the spells, I'm running triple Elegant Egotist. This card is phenomenal. I've seen people play this at less than 3, and I personally don't understand it. This card is really good, and I don't think there's ever been a game where I haven't used all 3 of these. It is simple effect. If a Harpie Lady is on the field, if Harpie Lady is on the field, you special summon a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters from your hand or deck, and it's not even a soft once per turn. So you can use this as many times as you can get it in your hand. I really love this card, and I personally love it at 3. If you'd rather run 2, that's fine, you could do that, but I like it at 3. Speaking of 3s, I'm running triple Hysteric Sign. This card is absolutely amazing. It's a continuous spell. And when it does is when this card's activated, you get to add, guess what, an Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, if it was sent there from the hand or field this turn, so a lot of times if you pop it off Conductor, you can add up to 3 Harpie cards of different names from each other from your deck to your hand. 3 Harpie cards with different names from each other from deck to your hand. That is absolutely amazing. You only use 1 Hysteric Sign effect per turn only once that turn. This card is really, really good. You really want to get this thing popped basically as quickly as you can. I'm also running a Harpie's Feather Duster. It's really cool to be able to say that. It's not really showing up at the moment, but it's kind of one of the original ones. I had 2 of these in my binder, so as soon as they said, hey, you can play one of these, I ran and grabbed it. So very excited to be able to play this again, and it's just a really awesome card, and it's so cool to be able to say, hey, I play Harpie's Feather Duster. It's funny, the first time I played this deck actually was against my buddy Steve, who did the Pendulum profile, and I just smacked him with Harpie's Feather Duster while he was playing the Endymion deck, and that actually hurt him pretty bad. So that was pretty fun to do. I'm also running 1 Harpie's Feather Rest. You target 3 Harpie Lady and or Harpie Lady Sisters in your graveyard, shuffle them to the deck, and then draw a card. And if you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster when you activate this effect, you can draw 2 cards instead. And then for the rest of this turn, you get locked into special summoning wind monsters. You only activate 1 Harpie's Feather Rest per turn, but I actually only play 1 Harpie's Feather Rest because it has, I think it's the party one. I can't remember the name of it. But you want your Harpies in the graveyard for the most of the time. This is just in kind of in case you need to get a little more things into your hand. I'm playing 1 Alluring Mirror Split. I've really bumped this one down. I don't use this one nearly as much, but I do use it sometimes. But when a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters you control is destroyed by battling, special summon a Harpie monster from your deck with a different original name, then the destroy monster. That is really cool. And then this card you control, if this card you control is destroyed by a Harpie's card effect, like Conductor, or if your opponent's card effect, you can target a Harpie monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this is a really cool card. If you want to bump it up, that's fine. I just didn't really find myself using it as much as I thought I would. I'm running 1 Harpie's Hunting Ground as well. It's the spell. It's the field spell of the deck, and then all winged beast monsters gain 200 attack and defense, which isn't a ton, but sometimes that can matter. And then when any Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is normal special summon, the player who conducted the summon targets a spell and trap card on the field, destroys it, which is cool because you do summon a lot every turn pretty much. I'm just going to go ahead and show you these traps as well. For the traps, I'm running double Hysteric Party. This is what I was talking about. So for what Hysteric Party does, it's a continuous trap, and then you activate this card by discarding one card. You special summon as many copies of Harpie Lady as possible from your graveyard. When this face-up card leaves the field, destroy these monsters. That's why you don't want to use Harpie's Feather Rest too much, because this can literally swarm the board of Harpies really quickly. This is a really good card. And then I'm also running triple Harpie's Feather Storm. This card is awesome. I absolutely love it. If you control a winged beast type monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. That can really shut down some decks. And then if you control a Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand, which, I mean, you almost always will. If this card in its owner's spell and trap card zone is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can add a Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It can literally search out, like, the really awesome card, which is probably the reason you tuned in to see this profile anyway. And then for lastly, I'm playing triple Imperm. Again, I want to stress this every time I share this. I want to stress that you don't have to play Imperm. Imperm is not a prerequisite for playing Harpies. It's absolutely not. I think it's really good and versatile. And if you have it, I do recommend playing it because it helps out, but you can just absolutely get away with something else as well. So that's actually it for the main deck, guys. Let's go into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm running double Cyber / Harpie Lady. This card is awesome. The first time I read it, I was super excited. So it's a tuner, it's a synchro, and you might be thinking, okay, well, you don't have any tuners in this deck, right? Besides Ash. Well, you're right. But the cool thing about this card is for this card Synchro Summon, you can treat one Harpie monster you control as a tuner. This card literally makes something on your field a tuner just by it existing in the extra deck, and that is really cool. This card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field and in the graveyard. When a spell or trap card or effect is activated, except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls or one Harpie monster you control, return to the hand. You only use this effect once per turn. That actually is really cool. It can be pretty bothersome. Again, I played this against the Endymion deck my buddy Steve had, and he had to think for a little bit because I had two of these on the field at once. Because like if I activate this, you can pulse it, so he had to kind of dance around that. So that is a really cool effect to have. I'm also running double Conductor. I do not have the Lost Art ones. I want them, but I don't have them. But so this one's cool. It's a link to 2-win monsters. This card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field in the graveyard. You can lose each of the following effects of Harpie Conductor once per turn. If a Harpie monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one spell or trap card you control instead, which is really cool. Comboing that off of Hysteric Sign and then be able to search 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand is really cool. And then a secondary effect where if another face-up Harpie monster you control returns to your hand except during the damage step, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and they can pulse that. So that is really cool. I'm also running the Wind Charmer Verdant. This card's name is always treated as familiar possessed, but you know who really cares about that. You can target one wind monster your opponent's graveyard, special summon to your zone this card points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or it's destroyed by opponent's card effect while its owner's monster zone, you can destroy one opponent's card. You can add one wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. I don't use this a ton, but I use it sometimes. So if you'd rather swap this out for like a third Cyber Slash, you could do that. And then for the last link, I'm just running one Avermax. You could just play any link 4 you wanted to, but I actually use Avermax a little bit more in this one than I do some of the other decks. So moving away from the links, I'm running 2 Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. This card is so freaking good. I think this card is so slept on. It's a rank 4, but it's 3 level 4 wind monsters. This card's effect can only be applied or resolved while it has material. This card can attack your opponent directly. Your opponent cannot target any Harpie monsters with effects or for attacks, and then during each of your end phases, you must detach material from this card. But that is so cool. It provides such great protection. It can attack directly, and like there's been times where I've gotten 2 of these on the field before in the first turn, and it is really troublesome. It really is. This card can just like your opponent's going to have to try and figure out something to get rid of this card because this card can like win games on its own. I'm running 1 Lightning Shador. What Lightning Shador does is 2 level 4 wind monsters. This card is Exceed Summon. You target a set card your opponent controls and return that target to the bottom of the deck. And then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and return that target to the top of the deck. I'm playing an Ice Beast Zero Fiend, I've actually one of those cards. This card's really good. It's 2 level 4 winged beast monsters. Once per turn, you detach a material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent, all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. And if you do that, this card gains 300 attack for each face-up card currently on the field, except this card, and these effects are applied until your next standby phase. So it literally, like, basically Dark Ruler No More's everything, even like their spells and traps. This card gains attack, and the effect is applied until your next standby phase. This is a really good card. I'm playing a Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Don't go into this too much, but the option is there with Channeler, being able to go up to a level 7. Also running a little bit of a rank 8 package because it's not hard at all to get 2 Sniper / Harpies on the field, and you can use 2 Synchro monsters to go into an Exceed monster if you want to do that. So this is for the monster negate, and then this is for the spell negate, and then also the Omnegate, and then also this is basically because it's summon as a non-target, non-destruction removal that has protection. So this is a really good card as well. And if you'd want to go a different way with this extra that, you could do that. This is just something that I like to do. You can also play like the ice spell stuff. I've seen that done. I personally don't like that build quite as much. I like this one better. But if you'd rather do that, absolutely, that's fine. So actually, guys, that's it for the deck profile. I do appreciate you watching this. I also very much appreciate you bearing with me as videos have been a little bit slower lately, but we are going to start picking that up back on track. Harpies are a whole lot of fun. I absolutely love the fact that you can search Harpie's Feather Duster in this deck. It's actually extremely, surprisingly consistent, and you can win with this deck. Like, if you wanted to add in some more hand traps or stuff and maybe throw in some droplets if you have them, this deck's pretty good, man. Like, honestly, I really like playing with this deck. But thanks for watching, guys. If you're here and you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. I absolutely love that. Hit the bell so you become a part of the notification team so you don't miss anything that goes on this channel. And if you watched this video and you liked it, hey, give it a thumbs up. I would absolutely appreciate that. It allows my videos to circulate around YouTube a little bit more, and because I'm a really small YouTuber, that helps me out a lot. So thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.